Today, we watch the spinning lights on an Amazon Echo. We find out why this folder holds the key to your B2B marketing success. And we do some hot tub PowerPoint. Why? Because this week we're continuing our journey into the differences between B2B and B2C buyers, and it's all about the stakeholder paradox. All of this and more on today's Loyalty Loop. Hey Loyalty Loopers, yesterday was my birthday. Yes! And after months of hinting, my wife Elizabeth finally got me an Amazon Echo. Hey Alexa, how old am I?
You know yourself better than I do.
How true is that? Check this out. Hey Alexa, read me my flash briefing.
Here's your flash briefing from Cleveland Clinic. Today's health tip.
Believe it or not, green veggies power your heart. Yep, that's right. Green veggies supply key nutrients like vitamins B6, K, and C, not to mention a heap ton of fiber.
What a coincidence, Alexa. Today, we're headed to the Cleveland Clinic. But before we head out to Cleveland to find out what this yellow folder is all about, we need to address one of the most often cited B2B and B2C buyer differences. There are more decision makers and stakeholders involved in a B2B purchase than in a B2C purchase. In the B2C world, the largest number involved in making a purchase decision is generally two. It's you and your spouse or your significant other. Now in the B2B world, is that the case? Well, I have a hypothesis. Maybe it's not actually that different. Perhaps that the vast majority of purchase decisions in the B2B world are also just made by two people, an employee and their boss. That's right, just two. But like any good hypothesis, I needed to find someone who could help me investigate this. And so, I asked Alexa. Hey Alexa, who makes a ton of B2B purchases every year?
Here's something I found on Wikipedia. Recycling is the process of converting waste materials into new materials and objects. Did that answer your question?
No, I'm still getting used to her. Okay, hey Alexa, how far is the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, Ohio from here?
I found a Cleveland Clinic Bariatric in Cleveland. It's 1,047.9 miles away on Euclid Avenue.
Well, let's go there. They must buy a ton of stuff.
I am now the Senior Director of Content at Cleveland Clinic, and I run a team of about 26 people in our content marketing department.
Every day, Amanda arrives into her office to find this, the yellow folder.
Our person who manages the budget stuff leaves this folder in my office for me. Usually she's there late at night, so she leaves it at night and I sign it in the morning.
And inside this yellow folder are invoices, purchase orders, event request forms, contracts, anything the team wants to buy that Amanda needs to approve before purchasing.
They vary pretty dramatically from, major like software system purchases to things like I want to go to a conference in Columbus and it's $200. Some renewals of contracts, some additional, silly analytics services we want to test out or try that might even be like $10.
In fact, Amanda estimates that she's approving some kind of purchase every single day.
Yeah, the vast majority of them are things that I can sign off on. They're really straightforward and simple. I have a large team, so each work group needs different things, and I trust them to come to me with the tools and opportunities that they need.
Remember what Amanda said right there, because it's really important and it's going to mean something when we start throwing balls into the pool. But not every purchase is just straightforward and simple.
Other things, I am the one really leading the charge and actually having to ask my boss and other senior leaders to sign off on as well. Now, if it's something like a big software integration, that gets vetted all the way up through the CMO, and then there's also lots of legal involvement.
Amanda admits that these kinds of purchases only happen a couple of times a month, and they tend to fit into two buckets. Here's bucket number one.
So it really just depends on the dollar amount, honestly, how big is the spend, and then it really just depends on how long the contract is.
And here's bucket number two.
You know, if it's something that's line itemed in our budget, he signs off without question. Like, that's my job to manage those line items. When it's additional funding requests and we're asking him to use, you know, his strategic fund for things, then it may not be a like, yeah, go for the whole entire thing. It may be some level of scale or something like that, depending on how he feels about it. But for this particular thing, I really do expect the green light.
So what's this particular thing? Well, it's a really complicated workflow system that Amanda's been working on for months. And she's ready to get the green light from her CMO in a meeting she's going to on Monday. So what does that presentation she's delivering on Monday look like?
This workflow system, actually, we're presenting to him for about an hour. We have a whole PowerPoint that lays out exactly why we need this, what the benefits are, the cost savings long term.
And here's the thing, Amanda didn't have to put this presentation together on her own. In fact, the software vendor themselves has provided her with tons of stuff to make the case for her in front of the CMO.
Absolutely. They actually have some tools that they've helped us use that are kind of cost savings calculators and things like that. You know, we're investing in a ton of licenses for this particular system. So, you know, there's various levels of use and explaining kind of what all that means and what it actually means to the enterprise. They've given us a lot of talking points, but they've definitely been really helpful in, you know, articulating why this is beneficial to us and all of the problems it can solve.
All of this has led me outside to the pool, where I want to belabor 2 points that Amanda has helped me illustrate. This pool represents a month, 30 days on average, and each one of these balls is a purchase request that Amanda gets in her yellow folder. Now, let's break down our evidence. 1, Amanda makes a purchase decision about every day. These are all those decisions. Only about 2 decisions a month require 2 people or more to actually make that decision. Okay, that's only about 6% of all of her decisions. That's an average of 1.8 balls, but let's call it 2. And let's put these 2 balls, the ones that require more than 2 people, in the hot tub. Let's scale this up for a second. If this entire pool was a year's worth of Amanda's decisions, there would be about 245 balls in just this pool. And only 15 would be in the hot tub. And this brings me to the first point I want to belabor in the hot tub. As marketers, we need to have a little bit of humility as well as a bunch of empathy. Because while you think your purchase is so important to the organization, it may just be that you actually fit into the pool pretty easily. You're not really that big of a deal. You're just in the yellow folder and you're ready to be approved. However, if you're one of the decisions that fits into the hot tub, one of those decisions that takes more than 2 people to make that final purchase decision, you need to think about your loyalty loop experience. Now, before I tell you my second point, let me remind you that you can sign up for the loyalty loop videos right here, and you'll get the videos a day before everybody else. You'll also get a bonus clip this week that's from Amanda, all about her amazing purchase journey to find the right voice talent for her Alexa skill. Okay, so if you find yourself in the hot tub, what should you do? Well, this is an important moment of commitment. Amanda's actually committed to take your purchase decision up the food chain to the next level. What are you going to do to create such a great experience for her that she can sell you with ease? And like Amanda said, the workflow provider they're actually working with has done a ton of work to make sure that Amanda is prepared for that meeting. They've delivered a great loyalty loop experience for that moment of commitment. Now remember, a loyalty loop experience is a series of post-commitment interactions that elicit intense and eager enjoyment, approval, and interest from your party that you're engaged with. So, how many people does it actually take to approve a corporate purchase? Well, in 94% of the cases, it just takes 2, an employee and their boss. Yeah, I know, this is a sample size of 1 with Amanda, but I can't imagine that other organizations the size of the Cleveland Clinic don't find themselves in a very similar place. I'll see you next time in my loyalty loop.